Every single second, something terrifying is happening inside your body. Right now, while you are sitting here watching this video, thousands of cells inside you are dying. Thousands more are being born, and hidden among them, dangerous mutations may already be forming. Tiny mistakes in your DNA, invisible damage caused by stress, pollution, sugar, smoking, processed food, lack of sleep, toxic chemicals, sunlight, and even aging itself. Most people never feel it happening. No pain, no warning. But scientists now believe many people carry microscopic cancer cells in their bodies without even knowing it. That sounds horrifying, because it is. And yet, your body is not helpless. Inside you exists a powerful defense system designed to hunt damaged cells, repair DNA, destroy inflammation, and stop cancer before it spreads. But modern life is weakening that defense every single day. And according to emerging research, one ordinary food may help reactivate some of those protective mechanisms in a shocking way. A food so powerful that scientists have spent years studying its compounds for their ability to slow tumor growth, reduce inflammation, support DNA repair pathways, and even starve cancer cells by cutting off the environment they need to survive. The strangest part? Millions of people already have this food in their kitchen, but almost nobody understands what it may actually be doing inside the human body. Tonight, we uncover the science, the controversy, the hope, and the fear surrounding the food researchers can't stop talking about. And by the end of this documentary, you may never look at your dinner plate the same way again. But before we begin, welcome to the channel. Here we uncover the hidden science behind health, disease, nutrition, and the human body in ways most people have never heard before. If you care about your health, your family, and the future of medicine, subscribe now and stay with us until the very end. Because what you are about to hear could change the way you eat forever. The world is getting sicker. Something strange is happening across the world. Cancer rates are rising in younger people. Doctors are seeing diseases that once appeared mostly in old age, now showing up in people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Colon cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, aggressive tumors appearing earlier than expected. And researchers are desperately trying to understand why. Is it genetics, environmental toxins, stress, processed food, microplastics, chronic inflammation? The frightening truth is that it may be all of them combined. Modern humans are living in an environment our bodies were never designed to handle. Artificial chemicals flood the air. Ultra-processed food dominates grocery stores. Sleep is collapsing. Stress hormones remain elevated for years. And inflammation, the silent fire linked to nearly every chronic disease, is becoming constant. Inside the body, this creates chaos. DNA damage accumulates. Cells stop communicating properly. The immune system becomes exhausted. And cancer cells thrive in environments filled with sugar, inflammation, oxidative stress, and damaged tissue. But then researchers noticed something remarkable. Certain populations eating traditional diets seem to experience dramatically lower rates of chronic disease for decades. Their lifestyles were not perfect. Their genetics were not magical. Yet something about their food patterns appeared protective. Again and again, scientists kept discovering one category of foods associated with lower inflammation, stronger immune function, healthier aging, and reduced cancer risk. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, and among them, one stood out. Broccoli sprouts. Tiny, bitter, ordinary looking. But hidden inside them is a natural compound so powerful that some scientists have called it one of the most promising anti-cancer nutritional discoveries ever studied. Its name is sulforaphane. And what researchers discovered about it stunned the scientific world. The compound that shocked scientists. At first, almost nobody paid attention. Back in the 1990s, scientists studying plant compounds discovered that broccoli sprouts contained unusually high concentrations of sulforaphane, a sulfur-rich natural chemical produced when the vegetable is chopped or chewed. What happened next changed nutrition science forever. Laboratory studies began showing that sulforaphane appeared to activate certain detoxification enzymes inside cells. These enzymes help neutralize harmful compounds before they could damage DNA. But it didn't stop there. Further research suggested sulforaphane might influence pathways connected to inflammation, oxidative stress, cell death, and even tumor suppression. In simple language, it looked like this natural compound was helping the body defend itself against the very conditions cancer cells depend on. That was shocking enough. But then researchers made another discovery. Broccoli sprouts contained up to 20 to 100 times more sulforaphane precursors than mature broccoli. Tiny sprouts, massive biological activity. Scientists became obsessed. Because cancer is not just one disease. Cancer is a process involving DNA damage, inflammation, immune dysfunction, abnormal cell signaling, uncontrolled growth, and the ability of dangerous cells to survive when they should die. And sulforaphane appeared to touch many of those pathways simultaneously. Not as chemotherapy, not as a miracle cure, but potentially as a powerful support system helping the body defend itself naturally. That distinction matters, because the internet is filled with dangerous lies promising miracle cures. No food alone cures cancer. Anyone claiming otherwise is misleading people. But can food influence the biological environment inside the body? Absolutely. And the evidence for that is growing stronger every year. The story of a man who never saw it coming. In 2017, a man named Daniel sat in a hospital parking lot unable to breathe. He was only 43 years old, a father of 2. He exercised occasionally. He wasn't obese. He assumed cancer happened to other people. Then came the exhaustion, the stomach pain, the blood tests, the scans. Stage 3 colon cancer. Everything changed overnight. Suddenly, life became divided into 2 realities: before diagnosis and after diagnosis. Chemotherapy drained him physically and emotionally. Food lost its taste. Fear invaded every quiet moment. Every phone call from the hospital felt terrifying. But something unexpected happened during treatment. Daniel became obsessed with learning how the body works. He read medical journals late into the night. He studied inflammation, insulin resistance, the microbiome, DNA damage, and immune function. He discovered that while medicine attacked the cancer directly, lifestyle factors still influenced the body's internal environment. His doctors never told him broccoli sprouts would cure him. They didn't. But they did encourage nutrient-dense foods that supported overall health during recovery. And so Daniel changed everything. He reduced processed foods, increased vegetables, prioritized sleep, walked daily, managed stress, ate cruciferous vegetables almost every day. Years later, he would say something unforgettable during an interview. I realized cancer wasn't just about one bad cell. It was about the environment inside the body that allowed those cells to survive. That sentence captures a massive shift happening in modern medicine. Researchers are increasingly studying not only how to kill cancer cells, but how to make the body less hospitable to them in the first place. And this is where the science becomes deeply fascinating. How cancer cells survive. Cancer cells are incredibly dangerous because they break the rules normal cells obey. Healthy cells know when to stop growing. Cancer cells don't. Healthy cells die when badly damaged. Cancer cells resist death. Healthy cells cooperate with the immune system. Cancer cells hide from it. Even more disturbing, cancer cells are metabolic opportunists. They consume enormous amounts of glucose. They thrive in inflammatory environments. They exploit damaged tissue. They hijack blood supply systems to feed themselves. Some researchers describe tumors almost like biological parasites. And this is where compounds like sulforaphane attracted enormous scientific interest, because studies suggested they might interfere with several survival mechanisms cancer cells rely upon. Some laboratory research indicated sulforaphane could help trigger apoptosis, programmed cell death, in abnormal cells. Other studies suggested it may help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, both heavily linked to chronic disease development. Still others explored its potential role in supporting detoxification enzymes that help the body process harmful substances. Again, none of this means broccoli is a cure, but it does suggest something powerful. Food is information. Every meal sends chemical signals throughout the body. Some signals promote inflammation, others help calm it. Some damage cells, others support repair. And over years, those signals matter. The DNA repair connection. Your DNA is under attack constantly. Radiation from sunlight, pollution from traffic, chemicals in smoke, stress hormones, alcohol, poor sleep. Even normal metabolism creates oxidative damage inside cells. The human body is equipped with repair systems designed to fix this damage before it becomes catastrophic. But these systems are not invincible. As we age, DNA repair efficiency can decline, inflammation increases, cellular damage accumulates, and eventually mutations may slip through. Researchers studying sulforaphane became interested in something extraordinary. It appeared to activate a protein pathway called NRF2. This pathway acts like a master switch for cellular defense systems. When activated, NRF2 can increase the production of antioxidant and detoxification enzymes that protect cells from damage. Imagine a city suddenly turning on its emergency defense systems during an attack. That is roughly what scientists believe may happen inside cells exposed to sulforaphane. The implications are enormous, because protecting DNA is not only about cancer. DNA damage is linked to aging itself. Neurodegenerative disease, immune dysfunction, chronic inflammation, metabolic disorders. This means the food you eat today may influence how your cells function years from now. And that thought is both empowering and terrifying. The food industry doesn't want you thinking about this. Walk through a supermarket for 10 minutes. Bright packaging, artificial flavors, sugary drinks, ultra-processed snacks engineered to hijack your brain's reward system. Entire industries profit when people crave foods that damage long-term health. And many people are trapped in cycles they barely understand. Stress creates cravings. Cravings fuel processed food consumption. Processed foods increase inflammation and blood sugar spikes. Poor metabolic health weakens the body over time. Then stress increases even more. It becomes a biological prison. Meanwhile, some of the most powerful health-supporting foods are cheap, simple, and unexciting. No flashy commercials. No billion-dollar campaigns. Just plants quietly containing compounds evolved over millions of years. Broccoli sprouts will never compete emotionally with addictive junk food, but your cells know the difference. Every day, your body is listening to what you feed it, and eventually, it responds. The most shocking experiment. One experiment stunned researchers. Scientists exposed cancer cells in laboratory settings to sulforaphane-rich compounds and observed changes in how certain cancer-related pathways behaved. Some abnormal cells showed reduced growth. Others became more vulnerable to destruction. Researchers investigating cancer stem cells, the especially dangerous cells believed to help tumors return after treatment, found preliminary evidence suggesting sulforaphane might influence them too. That sparked enormous excitement, because cancer recurrence is one of the greatest fears patients face. The idea that dietary compounds could potentially support the body alongside medical treatment opened entirely new areas of research. But scientists remained cautious. Lab studies are not the same as human outcomes. Cells in a dish are not whole human beings. Still, the findings were compelling enough that research continued expanding. And today, scientists around the world continue investigating how nutrition influences cancer biology at levels previously unimaginable. Why inflammation changes everything. If there is one hidden force connecting modern disease, it may be inflammation. Not the short-term inflammation that helps heal injuries. Chronic inflammation. Silent, persistent, invisible. The kind that slowly damages tissue for years. Chronic inflammation has been associated with heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, obesity, depression, and many forms of cancer. It creates biological chaos. And modern lifestyles are practically designed to increase it. Processed food, poor sleep, loneliness, chronic stress, lack of exercise, smoking, environmental toxins. The body never fully relaxes. Stress hormones remain elevated. Immune systems become dysregulated. Cells experience constant pressure, and cancer cells exploit that environment. This is why anti-inflammatory foods matter so deeply. Not because they are magical, but because they may help shift the body away from chronic biological stress. Cruciferous vegetables, berries, olive oil, green tea, garlic, turmeric, fiber-rich foods, many contain compounds associated with lower inflammatory activity. Broccoli sprouts became famous because their concentration of sulforaphane appeared uniquely potent, and that changed the conversation forever. The woman who changed her entire life. Maria was 38 when her mother died from breast cancer. She remembered sitting beside the hospital bed, feeling helpless as machines beeped through the night. After the funeral, fear consumed her. Every headache terrified her. Every pain triggered panic. She became obsessed with preventing the same fate. At first, she searched for miracle cures online. She found dangerous misinformation everywhere. Extreme diets, fake supplements, conspiracy theories, promises of impossible results. Eventually, she spoke with real medical professionals and researchers who told her something surprisingly simple. There is no miracle food, but your daily habits matter more than you think. That changed her perspective. Instead of chasing magical solutions, Maria focused on creating a healthier internal environment. She exercised regularly, improved sleep, reduced ultra-processed foods, managed stress, learned to cook vegetables she once hated, including broccoli sprouts. Years later, she admitted something emotional. The biggest change wasn't just physical, it was psychological. For the first time, I felt like I was fighting for my body instead of against it. That mindset matters because fear alone cannot heal people, but informed action can change lives. The truth about sugar and cancer. One of the most misunderstood topics online is sugar and cancer. You've probably heard the phrase, sugar feeds cancer. The reality is more complicated. All cells use glucose for energy, including healthy cells. So eliminating all carbohydrates will not magically starve cancer. But there is still an important truth hidden underneath the oversimplification. Many cancer cells consume glucose aggressively, and chronic overconsumption of ultra-processed sugary foods can contribute to obesity, insulin resistance, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction, all linked to increased cancer risk. This means dietary patterns matter enormously. Whole foods rich in fiber behave differently in the body than ultra-processed sugar bombs engineered for addiction. Fiber slows glucose spikes. Plants contain protective compounds. Healthy metabolic function supports immune resilience. Again, the goal is not panic. It is awareness. Your daily choices accumulate. One meal won't destroy you, but years of biological stress can. What scientists still don't know. Here's the honest truth. Nutrition science is incredibly difficult. Human bodies are complex. People eat thousands of different compounds every week. Lifestyle factors overlap constantly. Genetics differ dramatically. So no serious scientist claims broccoli sprouts alone prevent or cure cancer. That would be irresponsible. However, researchers increasingly agree on something extremely important. Diet profoundly influences long-term health. And certain foods consistently appear associated with better outcomes across large populations. Whole plant foods, fiber-rich diets, anti-inflammatory eating patterns, reduced processed food intake, healthier metabolic function, better immune resilience. The evidence supporting these broad patterns continues growing stronger. And within those patterns, compounds like sulforaphane remain among the most fascinating nutritional discoveries under investigation. The hidden power of the microbiome. Inside your gut live trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses, an entire invisible ecosystem influencing digestion, immunity, inflammation, metabolism, and possibly even mental health. Scientists now call the microbiome one of the most important discoveries in modern medicine. Because these microbes don't just live inside you, they interact with nearly every major system in the body, and diet shapes them dramatically. Fiber-rich vegetables feed beneficial gut bacteria. Ultra-processed foods may disrupt microbial balance. Chronic inflammation alters the gut environment. Stress changes microbial activity. Everything connects. Some researchers believe certain compounds in cruciferous vegetables may influence the microbiome in ways that support healthier immune responses. That matters because much of the immune system is deeply connected to the gut. When the microbiome becomes unhealthy, inflammation can spread throughout the body, and cancer risk may increase. Again, no single food controls this entire process, but dietary patterns create biological momentum over time. And the modern Western diet may be pushing millions of people in the wrong direction. The most terrifying part of cancer. The scariest thing about cancer is not always the disease itself. It is how silently it can grow. Years, sometimes decades, before symptoms appear. A person may feel completely normal while dangerous mutations slowly accumulate inside tissues. By the time warning signs appear, disease may already be advanced. That reality has forced scientists to rethink prevention entirely. Instead of waiting for disease, researchers increasingly focused on creating environments inside the body where disease struggles to develop in the first place. That means sleep matters, exercise matters, stress management matters, nutrition matters, inflammation matters, body weight matters, exposure to toxins matters, and food compounds influencing cellular defense systems suddenly become incredibly important. Not as magic bullets, but as part of a larger biological strategy. Why people ignore warning signs. Humans are strange creatures. We often ignore danger until it becomes impossible to avoid. People ignore exhaustion, ignore weight gain, ignore poor sleep, ignore chronic stress, ignore processed food dependence, ignore rising inflammation. Because modern life normalizes sickness. Feeling tired all the time becomes normal. Digestive problems become normal. Brain fog becomes normal. Constant stress becomes normal. But the body keeps score. Every year of chronic strain leaves marks beneath the surface. And eventually, systems begin breaking down. That is why documentaries like this matter. Not to spread fear, but to wake people up before it is too late. The Farmer Who Lived to 102. In a small rural village, an elderly farmer named Kinji continued working the fields well into his 90s. Researchers studying longevity visited communities like his repeatedly, trying to understand why some populations live longer with lower rates of chronic disease. What they discovered surprised them. The answers were rarely exotic. Simple diets, whole foods, physical movement, strong social bonds, lower stress, minimal ultra-processed food, vegetables consumed daily. Traditional lifestyles protecting metabolic health for decades. Kenji laughed when researchers asked about secret supplements. "We just eat real food," he said. Sometimes the most profound truths sound almost too simple. The business of sickness. There is another uncomfortable reality few people discuss openly. Modern society often profits more from treatment than prevention. Billions are spent treating chronic disease after it develops. Far less attention is given to preventing disease before it begins. Prevention is quieter, less dramatic, less profitable. Nobody becomes rich telling people to sleep more, reduce stress, eat vegetables, exercise, and avoid ultra-processed foods. But these behaviors may profoundly influence long-term health outcomes, and the science increasingly supports that conclusion. The emotional cost of disease. Cancer doesn't only attack the body, it attacks families. Children watching parents weaken, spouses sleeping beside hospital beds, friends struggling to find the right words, financial devastation, fear during every scan, the unbearable uncertainty. Anyone who has witnessed cancer closely understands this truth, which is why prevention matters emotionally, not just biologically. Every healthier choice is an investment in future moments people hope to keep. Birthdays, conversations, vacations, ordinary mornings, life itself. How to actually eat these foods. Most people overcomplicate nutrition. You do not need perfection. You need consistency. Broccoli sprouts can be added to salads, sandwiches, wraps, smoothies, or bowls. Light steaming mature broccoli may help preserve beneficial compounds better than overcooking. Pairing cruciferous vegetables with mustard seeds may increase sulforaphane formation because of enzymes involved in the conversion process. But the bigger picture matters more. Eat more real food, more vegetables, more fiber, less ultra-processed junk, reduce smoking, improve sleep, move daily, manage stress. These boring habits are often more powerful than trendy miracle products. The future of cancer research. Scientists are now entering an extraordinary era of research. Artificial intelligence, personalized medicine, microbiome analysis, genetic profiling, nutritional biochemistry, immune therapies. The future of cancer prevention may look radically different from the past. Researchers increasingly believe that understanding how lifestyle interacts with biology could become one of the most important medical revolutions in human history. Not replacing medicine, enhancing it, strengthening the body's own resilience. And food will almost certainly remain central to that conversation. The most important message in this video. If you remember only one thing from this documentary, let it be this. Your body is not passive. Right now, countless processes are happening inside you beyond your awareness. Cells repairing, immune systems fighting, DNA defending itself, inflammation rising or falling based on daily choices. And while no food guarantees protection from disease, the environment you create inside your body matters more than most people realize. Every meal is either helping stability or feeding chaos. That truth is both frightening and hopeful, because it means your choices still matter, even small ones, even today. Ending, the decision you make next. Tonight, somewhere in the world, someone will receive a diagnosis that changes their life forever. A phone call, a scan result, a doctor entering a quiet room. Everything changes in seconds, and many of those people will ask the same heartbreaking question. Could I have done something differently? Science cannot promise certainty. Life is unpredictable. Even healthy people sometimes become sick. But the evidence increasingly suggests this. The way we live shapes the biological world inside us far more than we once believed. Your food matters. Your sleep matters. Your stress matters. Your environment matters. Your daily habits matter. And perhaps hidden inside ordinary foods, like broccoli sprouts, are compounds capable of supporting the body in ways science is only beginning to understand. Not miracles, not magic, but possibility. Hope grounded in biology. The chance to give your body better tools for the war it fights every single day. So the next time you stand in a grocery store, deciding what to put into your cart, remember this documentary. Remember that beneath the surface of every human body is a silent battle between damage and repair, between inflammation and healing, between chaos and resilience. And sometimes the smallest choices repeated consistently over years become the difference between surviving and thriving. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone you love, because one conversation could save a life. Subscribe to the channel for more deep documentaries uncovering the hidden science behind health and disease. And most importantly, take care of your body before your body forces you to. Because by the time symptoms appear, the war may have already begun.